Bismillah. First of all, there's no doubt. I mean, even you can feel at this convention, because last convention we had a cloud hanging over our head, or we were under a thorny bush. Something was bothering us, you know. So now, you know, you can feel like, you know, people are breathing again, not so concerned about, you know, disappearing and ending up in an orange jumpsuit somewhere off the coast of Florida, you know. So there's definitely been a change in the country. Cairo was an amazing gauntlet thrown down, because the Quran reminds us, وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسَّلْمِ فَاجْنَحْ لَهَا. You know, if they incline towards peace, you should incline towards peace. That's one of my favorite verses, Surah Al-Anfal. But then Allah says, you know, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ, you have to trust in God, because you never know. But then, if you look, وَإِن يُرِيدُوا أَن يَخْدَعُوكَ فَإِنَّ حَسْبُكَ اللَّهِ. If they're just tricking you, God will suffice you. In other words, don't worry about what their intentions are. If they indicate to you that they want peace, you should incline towards peace. That's how precious peace is. So the Muslim community in America is in an extraordinary position to play a role in this country at bridging major gaps. But our institutions are going to produce the spokespeople. We have natural spokespeople. I mean, Ibu Patel, he's obviously, mashallah, a very gifted young man. I saw him talk. We were at the State Department, and he gave the lunch address. You know, he's not worried about me sitting in the audience. Boy, he just takes off. So he gave an address, and they were all, you know, he was quoting Moody Guthrie and Kant and Sartre and the Prophet ﷺ, and by the end of it, you know, they were impressed. That's what the Muslims have to do in this country. We have to be impressive. Because wherever the Muslims went, they impressed people. That's what they did. The Sahaba impressed people. They hadn't seen people like this before. When they arrived to China, the Chinese had never seen people like that before. When they went to Indonesia, the Habaib from Yemen, the Indonesians had never seen people like that before. When the Muslims arrived in Syria, one of the Christians at the time said, these people remind us of the descriptions of the disciples of Jesus. That's what they said. This is all historical documentation. Ezra Pound, one of the founder of modern American poetry, Ezra Pound, in his book on culture, said, and he wrote this from Morocco, he said, I don't know what power exploded in the 7th century in Arabia that led to 10,000 mosques in Cordoba, but I got a glimpse of it in the way a Moroccan walked in Tangier in 1913. And I saw some of the remnants of those Moroccans. Because when I went to Morocco in 1977, I met people that were 80 years old, that were alive in 1913. And they floored me. Really. The Baqiyya of Morocco, I was so amazed at these people. The dignity, the presence they had. I was once walking in the souk in Morocco 10 years ago. And he must have been 90 years old. He had a turban on. He was dressed in traditional jalaba with the beautiful. He had his trimmed beard the way the Moroccans wear it, and his face was full of light. And I was wearing a turban, and I was wearing and he stopped me in the midst of all these Moroccans that looked like bad imitations of French people. He stopped me, and he said, he grabbed me, and he said, Mishi Islam. This isn't Islam. And he just pointed around me to all the people. This is a man who saw the transformation of Fez from a city of light and learning to a city of people that have lost their way. And that's what we have to do in this country. We have to be those people that people can see it in the way our Muslim women walk. They did a study recently, and I'll end with this, because I know my 2 minutes is up. They did a study recently on people that have been mugged and raped. And what they did was they took muggers, convicted muggers, rapists, robbers, and they showed them videos of city scenes. And separately they would ask them, if you were going to mug one of these people, who would it be? Almost all of these people identified the same people. And the researchers were blown away. When they asked them, why this person? And they would say, I don't know. So they began to study those people. They found that they were people that walked aimlessly. They didn't have direction. They would rob a strong person who looked like he was just dazed, before they would rob a small woman who was walking with intention. The Prophet ﷺ walked with intention. When people saw him, they said it looked like he was going downhill, because he was walking with it. He wasn't moseying along. He was walking with intention. When people called him, he didn't look like this. He turned completely behind. He gave his entire being to people. When he spoke with people, he was present. He wasn't absent. He wasn't thinking about what was going on at home or how Aisha was doing. He was right there with that person. He had hadar. And that's what the Muslims need. They need to restore their presence, because the Muslims are the people of God. That's what we believe. That's our belief. But if we don't act like those people, nobody's going to treat us like those people.